morning, guys. It is a little bit past 10 on Thursday morning, and Penelope has just gotten up from her second nap, no, her first nap, excuse me, oh my gosh, her first nap a little bit ago. So she's all dressed and ready for the day, and while she was napping, I was editing and uploading yesterday's vlog, so we're still actually waiting for that to upload. And yeah, I haven't really done anything else yet. I did get to shower today. Thursdays Eric works from home in the morning usually, so I try to take advantage of that opportunity and get a shower in. So yes, I did get myself cleaned up and have just done a little bit of email and then editing that vlog. So Thursdays we have childcare actually in the later afternoons. Most days of the week it's the early morning into the early afternoon, and on Thursdays we have it from 1 to 5. And I try to do that just one day a week in case I have a client who, basically in case I need to do a client call and they only have afternoons available. So yeah, I generally prefer to get work done in the morning, and usually I still can on Thursday. I can get at least a few hours in between when she's napping and then when she's in a good mood and is content just to hang out on the floor of the studio with me. So yeah, I think she's about ready to eat again, so I'm gonna go nurse her, and then she won't go down for another nap for like probably an hour and a half or 2 hours. So I'll nurse her, get her changed, and then head back up here to try to get a little bit more done. But before I do that, I did actually want to just answer a couple of quick questions that are, oh my gosh, is that like the cutest sound ever? Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. That are totally unrelated to one another, but one, somebody asked yesterday how old she was, and she'll be 7 months next week, which is crazy. And then the other question, completely unrelated, and this wasn't even a question on the vlogs, but it was a question somebody asked on the scanning video that I did, like almost, I don't know if it was like a year and a half ago now, but it was one of my earlier videos, and it's been one of my most popular videos, so I still get questions on it. And this was one that I hadn't heard before, and somebody asked how this scanner was at scanning paper that had been warped. And that can happen obviously for various reasons, but one of the most common reasons is that you're working on watercolor paper, or well, you're working on any kind of paper in watercolor and the paper gets warped. And I can't really compare it to other scanners on that particular ability, but I wanted to mention the question because something I have found that helps, and since I've been using the Reeves BFK paper, I haven't really dealt with that as much because that paper really doesn't warp. But even some other really nice papers, just because the paper warps doesn't mean it's not a good paper. There are some very high-end papers that still warp if you don't stretch them. And I almost never stretch my paper because I am lazy about doing that sort of thing. And I tend to prefer to just fix it after the fact if it's gotten warped. But that's my very circuitous way of saying that if you do end up with a warped paper and you don't have time to like wet down the back and wait for it to dry and you just need to get it scanned, what you can do is open up your scanner all the way and just leave the lid open, place the drawing on the glass plate, and then have like a really heavy book that fits completely inside of the frame of the plate. So basically you want the book to be in full contact with the glass as well, so that the weight of the book is pressing down the illustration. And just for my scanner, at least, I don't know if other scanners are this way, but for my scanner, the lid isn't heavy enough to weigh down an illustration completely flat, so you would still see some warping around the edges basically. So if you want to get it completely flat, just use a book to weigh it down, and you can scan it with the lid open as long as the book covers all 4 corners of the illustration itself. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know, and I can try to film an image of me doing that tomorrow just to show what it looks like. Yes, so working my way through these questions, and I will try to get to a couple more today as well. So gotta head downstairs and feed and change Miss Penelope, and then we'll get to work. All right, so Penelope is fed and changed and we are headed back up to the studio. If you've been watching the vlogs for the past couple of days, you know that I am mainly working on 2 different client projects this week, in addition to a few other things, and as always trying to squeeze in some portfolio work around the edges. And yesterday I've actually finished, I've gotten to a good point on one of the projects. The one that's, oh no, she's gonna try to grab the camera. Nope. Oh my gosh. The bathroom in my studio, and I don't know, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I don't want a toilet in the back of my shots. Yes, anyway, one of them, the one that's a logo project, I have gotten to a pretty good point, and I'll be sending, this is kind of like round 2 after some edits, and I'll be sending those 2 additional concepts to the client today. But then the other one, the one that I've been waiting for the feedback on and was still waiting last night, has not come in. And initially it was supposed to be Tuesday afternoon that they got it to me, then it was going to be Wednesday afternoon, and now it's Thursday morning and I still don't have it. So definitely starting to get a little bit stressed about being able to get it done by the 23rd. So I will be sending more reminder emails today. And I guess it's good that you guys can see this, because this is definitely a very real part of life. And I would say it happens, I don't know how many, I feel like at least half the projects I do, clients miss some of their deadlines. So yeah, it's a very realistic glimpse, and it was a pain before I had a daughter, and it's even more challenging now because, you know, we schedule childcare around my work schedule and like when I have to get stuff done and when I have client work. So if I have booked additional sitters in a week so that I can work on a specific client project and then I don't have the feedback from the client, that can be really challenging. So you all are getting to see how I juggle that. But one thing that I do, and I guess this kind of relates to a question that somebody asked yesterday or the day before in the comments, just asking if I could talk about, asking if I could talk about time management. And I don't feel like I'm necessarily like the best at time management. I have talked about, I did a video on organization and how I organize my time, and I'm pretty basic. I just like start each week and think about what are the projects and deadlines that I have to get done in that week, like that I absolutely have to get done. And then I think through what are the other things that I would like to do, what other like portfolio work would I like to do if I have time. So I kind of try to start each week with an idea of what I want to do or what I need to do and what I want to do. So the past couple of days, as I have been just a little bit hamstrung waiting for the client, rather than just sitting on my hands and not getting anything done, I've decided to work on portfolio pieces that I had already had planned. So you've seen me doing some of them. Let me flip the screen here. You saw me working on this one a little bit, and I think, I gotta step out of the light. I think this one is mostly done. It's a bird obviously, and I've been trying to build out the nature section of my portfolio. And then working on this red high heel. I think you saw this on the first day of the vlogs. And this is done as well. And then this one is still in process. It's a mortar and pestle. And for all of these, I've been using mostly the Grande Ash Luminance, as you can see by the mess on my desk. And I've been doing that just because I've had those pencils for a little while, and I really want to get better at using them and not just stick in my comfort zone with the Prismacolor. Yeah, so I guess that's like the moral of the story for me is, and a big aspect of my time management, if I would call it that, is that, you know, even if a client is dragging their feet or late on something, I just try never to waste time. So on that note, that's probably what I will start working on this morning, since I'm still waiting for that feedback. Actually, no, I'll probably email the new logo concepts over first and then get going on some more portfolio pieces. So that is where we're at. It is about 1 o'clock, just after 1, and the babysitter just got here, and Penelope is down for her nap. She's been sleeping almost an hour now, so she could get up anytime, but the sitter's here, so I'll just keep on working. Have had lunch and have been painting a little bit while P has been napping. And I've been trying out these Albrechter watercolor pencils, and I really, really like them. So I'm trying to do like a range of, so like I did a piece a little bit ago with or yesterday. Well, I started it like last week, but I was working on it yesterday. The bird, the kingfisher, and that had a lot of blues and greens in it, or a lot of blues in it. And I'm working on a piece now that you just saw that's of a bunch of carrots that was inspired by a little farm stand that I went to when we were up in Maine on vacation. And that piece has a lot of oranges and reds and purples and greens, so it's got pretty much everything but blue. Just because I find that different colors sometimes behave differently, so I'm wanting to try out the whole spectrum, and then we'll do a review video on them. And yeah, but overall I feel like they're just really great. So definitely at this moment I feel like I would hands down prefer them over the Prismacolor watercolor pencils. But yeah, I'll share more of my thoughts when I do the official review on them. What else? So right now I'm just kind of sitting down, transitioning to doing a little bit of email and admin. The logo project that I'm working on, I've done the 2 additional iterations, but I haven't like prepped them, so they're just still in the they're just still in a raw file. So I'm gonna export them to a small probably I'll just send them as JPEGs or a PDF and email those to the client. And I'm still waiting on my feedback, so I'm gonna have to send another reminder to that client. I haven't sent one yet today because I was waiting, really hoping it would come in this morning. But I'm gonna have to get that off now. And I saw somebody commented on today's vlog that they are pregnant, and I probably have the person's name right here. Ashley Lowell commented that she's pregnant and asked about coffee and saw that I was drinking coffee, and yes, I do drink coffee. When I was pregnant, I was pretty good about only having one a day. I would have like a caffeinated cup in the morning, and sometimes I would have a half caff thing in the afternoon. But since I've been breastfeeding, I think initially I was maybe doing the same thing, like 1 a day or 1.5 a day, but now I definitely have 2 or sometimes maybe 3 cups of coffee a day. And my understanding and what my doctor had said was just that as long as it didn't seem to bother her, and it hasn't really, which doesn't surprise me because Eric and I are both basically made of caffeine. We met working together at Starbucks, so we're kind of a highly caffeinated couple. So so far, thankfully, it hasn't really seemed to bother Penelope. If it did, then I would try to cut back, but that's just what works for me. I know that there are moms who have to be more careful because their babies are more sensitive. So yeah, I would just say trial and error. All right, it is about 5:30. The babysitter left about 30 minutes ago, right around 5. And I've just been feeding Penelope, and have just for the last couple minutes been hanging out in the studio, getting a little bit more painting done. Since I last checked in, I did more portfolio work and also prepped. I just have one Etsy order this week, so I usually get those sort of put together on Thursday night and then package them up on Friday morning. So I did that, and I'm still waiting on the client feedback. I think I don't think I told you yet that I did hear back from the other client, the one who I'm doing the logo project for. She loves looking at all the stuff on the walls. Oh no, sorry, we're not gonna play with pencils. Oh, did you spit out? 1 second. All right, that's taken care of. That's taken care of. What was I gonna say? Oh, I don't think I had mentioned that that the client that I'm working on the logo for, that I heard back from them, like almost, I sent that off early afternoon, and I heard back from them like an hour later, and they loved the additional options, and it sounds like we have one that we're actually going to go with, so that's awesome. And yeah, I don't know, I'm feeling like really scattered today, or right now. Yeah, I'm not sure why it is. But I think I'm gonna wrap up the vlog, only because probably in another 30 minutes or so, I'm gonna give her dinner, and then it's bath night, and then she'll be nursing into bed, so hey. I think we're both a little fried. So yeah, I hope everybody has a great night, and we will see you in the morning. Bye.